Adam Christ for MyMMAnews.com, being joined by the man himself, Ahmad Ibrahim. Oh my goodness, Rami Elite's prime prospect. He is fighting once again March 13th live on Fight TV, Triumphant 10. He's taken on Edgar Juarez. This guy is an absolute sensation. Ahmad is no different. Ahmad, thank you for joining me, brother.
Thank you for having me once again, man. You know how far back we go.
Oh, without saying, we go back very, very far, and we have pictures to prove it. But that'll be another time. Your picture with you and Greg, my favorite ever. But so getting into this fight, man, Edgar Juarez, he's no joke. He has that green strap, that WBC coveted title, right? They're using that in the poster. So this kid is no slouch. What do you know about him, and how excited are you for this fight?
So I do know collective with his pro and his amateur record, he has over 100 fights. Which, in its hand, you have to respect. Whether they were these kind of fights or those kind of fights, 100 fights is 100 fights. So he definitely knows what he's doing. I'm training. I don't have 100 fights, but I've been in the martial arts for about 20 years, which is also hand in hand. 20 years is 20 years, given my age. But I'm training. You know, I'm in really, really good shape. I feel like I know how to beat him. And no disrespect to him or anybody, but I have fought tough people. And at the level we're at now, there is no easy fight. So.
No, not at all. And not only that, but especially in your weight class and in such a small, compacted space in the Muay Thai community, it's almost like everybody's bound to face each other, and everybody's just stepping up every single fight they get against. So, again, this fight is no different. But getting against Edgar Juarez, man, where do you think your style is based compared to his? Obviously, you're not coming into this fight to lose, but I want to ask, where do you think he thinks he has the best step in this game?
I feel like he thinks he has the boxing over me. Well, you know, Mexican style, a lot of them are very, very good boxers, but he's not a sloppy boxer. He's very crisp, very sharp. So with that said, I don't think he's going to do anything that I haven't already seen. You know, I don't think he's going to come at me from weird angles. I think it's going to be his boxing versus my kicks, which is 90% of my fights, which I have good hands, but I always end up fighting boxers, and there's no need to box a boxer. So I feel like it's going to be his hands versus my kicking and versus my clinching. It's 5 rounds, and clinching plays a very, very big part in this fight. Elbows, full rolls, and I'm just gonna touch that body, man. I'm not even worried about his face, to be honest. I remember the last Mexican guy I fought, I landed possibly the most beautiful head kick. He ate it like that was nothing and just came forward. So I fought Mexican people before, man. They're tough. And just if I knock him out to the head, God bless. But I'm not looking for it, you know. I'm just gonna touch his body and see what happens.
You know, that's such a common, and it's such, especially in the world today, but it's such a respectful stereotype, if you will.
You know,
Mexicans, they can take that punishment, man, and it's all due respect to them.
You go to Mexican, you better be ready for a fight. Like, it might not be pretty, but it's a fight. Every time you fight them, and they're even in the IFMA games, you know, in the World Games and all the IFMA tournaments. Some countries, you just know, like, if you get in the ring with them, they come to fight. And again, the guy has 100 fights, and he has a WBC belt. At one point, if you didn't have a green strap, you didn't matter. And he has a green strap, so he has my utmost respect. And, you know, everyone does stalking. I go on his page, and he's a family man. And on top of that, a person who's a family man they really don't got much to lose. Like they have everything to lose, and you know they're strong kind of people. So I'm very, very excited to fight him, and I'm grateful for Triumphant even making this fight, given our weight. You know, our weight is very, very hard. Well, what's gonna happen though?
You know, something, and I'm not saying that I would definitely buy into this kind of stock, but some people say when the fighters are such family men, they have so many responsibilities outside of fighting. There's some people that think that might take away from their training. Obviously, you're young. You have no kids. You have, you know, just a bright future ahead of you. I mean, obviously not even married right now. So it's really just you focusing on you. Do you think that's plays any bit?
So this fight camp has been different than any other fight camp I ever had in that aspect. No, I am not seeing anybody. I don't have kids, but I did give myself a lot of responsibility for this fight camp. Most of my life, all I had to do was train, and when I would work Uber, things like that, so I can make money around my training. My training was number one, life was number two. I'm getting to the age now where I'm accepting that Muay Thai isn't where it should be financially. So I do have a 9 to 5 now, and it's pretty hard juggling everything, because even when I did have actual jobs, I would only work part-time, a couple times a week, valet, like real, no offense to anyone, but like high school kind of jobs where it was make money, and then training was number one. Now I am balancing both, and they are both number one. So I don't say it gives anyone an advantage, because me being so disciplined now makes me want it so much more. It makes me feel like I deserve it so much more. And I have fought people who I'm very, very cool with now, who have kids, who have families, and you could just see determination in their eyes. When you know what I mean? Like I like to say in the last round, what did you do to deserve it more than them? Which is nothing wrong to full-time training. I wish I could do it, but I'm at a situation in my life right now where I actually need some money, and Muay Thai is not paying me, So I don't think training all day gives anyone a more advantage mentally, maybe physically, but they say the fight is what, 99% mental. So I don't think training full-time opposed to having a full-time job, taking care of your family and kids, gives you any type of mental advantage. Maybe physical, but physical will only get you so long. Everyone's muscles are going to get tired. So eventually it's mental, and mental is much, much more beneficial in fighting than physical.
Which obviously leads me to my next question. What's the Palestinian Golden Boy doing now for his 9 to 5?
I actually work maintenance at an elementary school. So it's a lot of labor, or it's a lot of simple stuff given the day. But as of right now, my routine is I wake up at about 5:45, 6 a.m., run 4 miles, go to work. I start like at 8:30. So as soon as I wake up, I'm out. I usually run once a day, but my coach wants me running twice, which makes everything a little bit more hectic for me, because when I train or I fight, I try to place the fight in my head to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm not just running on autopilot or just training and nobody's really home. So I wake up and I'm like, okay, time to focus on my fight. Get up, throw some water on my face, go run, because I have to do it quick before I got work, and then I go to work, and I was like, okay, now I gotta put the fight to the side and focus on work, because there's kids in the building, and it is an important job. It's a lot of labor, and it's just there's kids, and with COVID and everything, it's just a lot more complicated. And then I get home at like 5:30, and now it's like, okay, now I gotta focus, I gotta run. I can't like sit down, because if I sit down, everything has to go perfect for me to make the training on time, which teaches me a different type of discipline, because I was never told I have to run. I'm never told I have to train. I've always been on top of that. It's just splitting my mind in different places while still remembering the importance of training. So I have my second run. I'm done by like 6:17, 6:18. I got 5-10 minutes to change. Gotta go to the gym. Get home around 10 o'clock. It's like, all right, now I gotta go to sleep. I have to like force myself, So it did teach me a different type of discipline, but I'm 25, and I am an adult, and I do want to have a family. I do want to have kids. So money is essential, and I need a job, and I'm okay with it. I like my job. It doesn't feel like work, but it just makes me feel like I deserve the fight so much more, because my physical was always there for fighting. Mental was always there too. But now if I can get my mental even higher, I'm the type of guy, the last round, I'm like, man, I worked so hard for this fight. And I just remember everything. Like so many times, like my alarm clock will go off. I'm like, if I stay 10 more minutes in my bed, I'll be late to work, because everything has to be so consecutive and perfect. which it's definitely helped me with this fight camp, and it's made me want it a lot more. And I see what so many other people go through, because I'm not the only one who has a 9 to 5 in fights. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's totally normal. And I had a luxury of not having to do that because my family supported me in so many ways. But now I want to give back to them, and I don't want them to feel like they have to give me so much. So I'm just figuring all my stuff out now.
I mean, and all credit to you, man. I mean, and it's a lot of the fighters, they have to have full-time jobs to continue to want to pursue their passion. It's not until you get into like, you break into like the top, 5-10 of the world where you're making the kind of money where you get the option of potentially quitting your job and go for it.
Which sucks, because right now, even in top 5 in Muay Thai in America, you're not making anything. So do you know how hard it is for Muay Thai pro fighters at my level to do all this? And it's like, it's hard to be motivated with like, I gotta put a little bit of money in my pocket. I'm like, why am I fighting Muay Thai? Like, why am I, you know what I mean? Like, why am I tripping about a fight where I'm getting paid, barely anything? Sorry, I don't want to talk about money, but like, it's, everyone knows Muay Thai, you don't get paid that much. Like, you really have to motivate yourself to spend money on blood work, to spend money on like preparing massages, recovery, all that stuff. It adds up so much money to not get paid. So that's why I say Muay Thai is so much different than all the other sports at this level. I could simply move to Thailand and be fine, probably be financially stable and get a job over there and train and fight. But I don't want to give up what I have here. So it's, it's family and friends and all that stuff. Sometimes I see myself doing it, but it's more so just for the love of the sport. And it takes a different type of discipline to fight at this level, man. In Muay Thai, It really does.
And we were talking about that before we even started. And I said that I wanted to touch on that because it's one of those sports. It couldn't be any more tough. Between Muay Thai, MMA, bare knuckle. I mean, combat sports is the toughest of sports, period. Muay Thai is right up there on the list, but they're not financially backed. So again, like you were saying, the money isn't fully there. So you truly have to love it. You truly have to have that desire and passion. And without being financially compensated, I can understand the motivation not being there. So what makes you keep coming back? Like, what's that love and driving passion that constantly brings you back?
Within the last year, COVID taught me a lot. And speaking to my uncle, my coach, we started to say fighting is a drug. It really, really is a drug, man. And I'm a fighter. I've been fighting for about 10 years now. And I will be the one to tell you, whoever's watching, if you don't know, fighting is a drug and it is not good for you. Because think of it like this. When I'm not fighting, I get that itch and I want that itch and I know I'm going to gain nothing from it. I'm going to gain this is Muay Thai. When you fight MMA, you fight boxing, you have at least a goal of where you want to go. And you might be chasing a dream that's not there. I don't know, but at least it's possible.
The financial backing is there at this juncture.
It's there. You're going to have to work hard to get to it. But Muay Thai, it's not. All we have is one championship. And to say at the least, at my weight specifically, it is so hard to get noticed in America. For me to want to make it, I have to drop everything, move to Thailand, and possibly get noticed at 125, which is very, very hard because all the Thais are at that weight, which is not an excuse. I just don't want to leave my family. And that's more complicated. But more so of the drug, you win, you get that high. Mm-hmm. And then 2 days later, nobody cares. And then you want it again. And then you start itching when you don't have it. It's just like drugs, man. It's just like drugs because people take drugs to solve their problems and they realize their problems aren't even solved. And it's just a circle. It's just a circle. Whoever says fighters are mentally stable, they're not. We're not. Because I know this is probably not the best idea to spend 3 months training for my fight to pretty much get nothing, to spend money to get punched in the face. to come back home, still broke, to do it again. You know, fighting is a drug, and if you don't love it, you will not make it.
100%.
In fighting terms, making it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you were just saying, you have to go overseas in order to fight, especially right now. The pandemic is just, it's different everywhere, but it's absolutely crazy. But this will be your second trip to Mexico. You were there 2 months ago. You're going back, obviously different part. You're going to Rosarito Beach, Mexico this time.
Yeah.
So Mexico, man, is this just going to be your new spot? Is this your vacation spot, man?
I haven't fought in America in 2 years. That was the last time I fought in America. And this show is in Mexico, but it is an American show. And I'm pretty sure, I have never asked, but I'm pretty sure they're doing it in Mexico because of COVID and restrictions in America. So this is the closest I've been to fighting at home, just because it's ran by Americans. Like, you know what I mean? So it's in Mexico, but I don't feel like the outsider. You know, when I fought in Mexico last time, it was beautiful. I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the food. I loved the culture. So I'm excited to go back, and it's on the beach. Win, lose, or draw, I'm diving. You know, I don't really care. It's gonna be nice just to be outside, and I'm so grateful, man. Like, I know so many people who are training just as much as me, and they're not getting opportunities. So I'm taking that into consideration because it's a blessing. You know, I know people haven't fought the whole COVID, and they've been working from the beginning till now, still grinding, and they don't get the opportunities that I have due to my coach getting it for me. So I am very grateful just for that as it is. And I am training super, super hard. I am way better shape than my last camp. Mentally, physically, my weight, everything is so much better. And I'm just so excited, man. So excited. I haven't had a title fight in years.
And this is for the super lightweight title, am I right?
I have
or 125, obviously, but
125.
Yeah, okay.
That's all
125. We do know that Triumphant 10. You and Edgar Juarez. How do you beat him? What's your prediction? I know you don't like to give out big, flashy predictions. Why don't you throw out one for us?
I am a super humble person, and I will never talk bad on anybody. And if I ever sound disrespectful, I don't mean it. But I genuinely think I can pick him apart round by round. I've never been the type to go crazy the first round. I like to do things that accumulate later. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch my fights, I counter a lot. I touch the body a lot, which plays a part later. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to knock him out. I have no idea. It's so hard to do that at this level. And you got to think of it in his head. He's like, I'm not going to get knocked out. So it's never that simple. I'm not Conor McGregor. I'm knocking you out 1 minute, 45 seconds. Like, whatever happens, happens, man. I'm just going to do my job, stick to my game plan. But I do think as the fight goes on, I will progress more than he will.
So I know that you have been itching, especially during this fight camp, man. You had that. You have it right in your hands right now. What kind of Dunkin'? What kind of donut? What are you waiting for, man? What's the post-fight meal looking like?
The post-fight meal?
The Ibrahims are huge on it.
I go home right after the fight, pretty much. So a couple hours after the fight, I got to cross the border again and fly from San Diego. So I land in America Sunday morning. I am going straight to Dunkin' Donuts, cream, sugar, toasted coconut. For those of you who are listening, if you like sweet, at that point, it's not even coffee, but it tastes so good. And that is the first thing I'm going to get. And whatever donuts that just catch my eye.
Obviously Dunkin' Donuts, because they're better than Krispy Kreme, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we can talk about that. That early in the morning? Yes, most likely.
Most likely, right? So, all right, man, we're going to close it down. Obviously, we got your prediction. You're going to wear them down. This is a big fight for you, 125-pound triumphant title fight. So I want you to plug your social media. Obviously, that hooded sweatshirt, that fresh hoodie you got going on right now, your merch. Where can people get it so they can support you?
Okay, so my Instagram is Ahmad_elite. That is my most active social media that I use. And I did come out with my own merch, and the link to purchase it is in my bio. And March 13th, I promise you guys, I am training so hard. No crazy fight predictions. I'm going to try my best and represent my Palestinian people the best way that I can. And with that said, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that I would like to thank. I would like to thank Triumphant 10 for even putting me on the show with so much talent there is and allowing me to fight for their prestige title. It's an honor, and I'm so excited for it. I want to thank my uncle, my coach, for getting me the opportunity in the first place and helping me train for the fight, my team, and all my sponsors, Hair Wizards Barbershop, Paragon Performance, Eat Chubs, my newest sponsor. They make gourmet food and they ship, by the way, snacks, cookies, cakes. That's all I'm saying. Nut House and Habibi Life and Zudo. I have so many just good people in my corner, man. Pure Pally. When you have positive energy, it's just so contagious, you know? And people say it's you versus them, which is 100% true, because in the ring, it's you and them, and no one can help you. But when you feel like you have so many people behind you, it just makes me feel invincible, you know? I wouldn't be me without these people, and without being Palestinian, feeling like I have my whole country supporting me, my American team. I fight for the USA team, you know? I have so much support, and I'm putting all of that into effect this fight camp. Every day I wake up, eyes open, first thing I do is grind. I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. I'm so excited. I haven't felt this good in shape in fights. Like, it's been fights since I felt this positive for a fight. And thank you to everyone who supported me. Adam, I love you, man. Just reaching out in general. I love doing this, you know?
Yeah, and obviously, you know, I love you too. We go back a long time. I was just going to say, I haven't seen this excited, radiant, glowing Ahmad Ibrahim in a long time. Like you said, we do share history. This is something that, it's not that I haven't seen before. It's just, this is another, I can definitely see the glow that you're...
I've been working very hard.
Yes.
And I love my team, but I've been seeing my team catching titles the last 3 years. And it's hard to get title fights as a pro. It's very different, because I had 30 amateur fights. When you turn pro, you're nothing. You're zero. You got to build that back up. So I got gold medals. I've been working hard. And now that I have a title fight, you know, it makes you excited because it's something different, you know, and especially for this show. I've been wanting to fight on this show for years now. And my first time on this show is for a belt. And I'm visualizing it. And that is one of my biggest ways of motivation, because I've been on the other end. I don't want that to happen. So I am excited, man. I'm genuinely so excited to just put this belt around my waist, go to the airport, put a bag of chips in the belt, and just sit there. I'm so excited, man, honestly.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's 4 titles on the line on that night. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the card, which obviously, I mean, I'll let you go, but this card is,
This card is sick. And on top of that, I have 2 good friends on the card. So I have one of my teammates from Colombia who I fought alongside with, Brandon, making his pro debut. So that's a huge deal for him, and I'm so excited to watch him win. And I have a teammate that when I went to Worlds with Greg in 2011, someone from our team is the main event. So it's like Richard Abraham, and it's like I'm seeing these faces that I haven't seen in so long, who I fought alongside with, and I'm so excited to see them and win. And I just can't wait, man. This show is gonna be so sick. 10 pro fights, 4 title fights. Very excited.
Triumphant 10, it's going down March 13th, live on Fight TV. Ahmad Ibrahim will be taking on Edgar Juarez for the 125-pound Triumphant title. Ahmad, thank you so much for joining me, brother. Best of luck. Obviously, Fight TV, everybody can check it out. Everybody check out Ahmad on his social and watch him fight. For Ahmad Ibrahim, I am Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to mymmanews.com for all your fight news needs.